Welcome to Millionaire Secrets. Today we're exploring the saga of a global commerce giant that didn't just participate in the trade game, but reshaped it with unmatched power and innovation. This empire builder of the 17th century set the stage for the corporate world as we know it. A visionary in strategy and manipulation, this colossus dominated global trade, introducing strategies and innovations that have become the blueprint for success. As we delve into its rise to fame, the groundbreaking changes it made, and the ethical challenges it faced, we uncover a story that's not just historical, but a lesson in ambition, ethics, and success. As this tale unfolds, can you guess which trading titan we're discussing? Stick around as we dissect the legacy of the Dutch East India Company, or VOC, revealing what modern entrepreneurs can learn about crafting empires that last. Back in the early 17th century, something huge was about to shake up the world. Everyone was crazy about spices. Yeah, the stuff we sprinkle on our food without a second thought today. But back then, spices were the gold, the oil, the Bitcoin of their time. And from the heart of the Dutch Republic, a new player stepped onto the field. This wasn't just any player. We're talking about a giant in the making, a force of ambition and strategy, ready not just to join the game, but to redefine it. Cue the entrance of the Dutch East India Company, or VOC, destined to become a legend in the annals of trade and power. The Dutch government handed the VOC a golden ticket, a charter that did way more than let them trade. This was the equivalent of giving them the keys to a kingdom. They could wage wars, make treaties, and rule over lands. Suddenly, the VOC wasn't just a company. It was a global powerhouse, the first of its kind to mix business with statecraft. And it started the whole idea of selling shares to the public to bankroll their ventures. Talk about crowdfunding before it was cool. Armed to the teeth and savvy in business, the VOC mapped a network of trade that stretched from Africa's Cape of Good Hope all the way to the Indonesian archipelago. This wasn't just about trading spices. It was about owning the trade, setting the stage for what would become the global economy as we know it. But let's not gloss over the darker side. This path of growth and innovation the VOC was on, it had its share of exploitation and greed. The ambition that drove them to map the seas and trade across continents also led to some pretty unethical moves. As we dive deeper, we're going to see how the VOC's hunger for dominance led to some game-changing strategies, but also brought up some tough ethical questions. Stick around as we unpack the legacy of the VOC, showing how this titan of trade taught us lessons about power, innovation, and the ethical lines crossed in the quest for global domination. Throughout the 17th century, the Dutch East India Company, aka the VOC, wasn't just playing the trade game. They were out to set the rules. They had a single audacious goal in mind: monopolies. Now, before your eyes glaze over at the thought of economics class, imagine this: the VOC's pursuit was less about dry numbers and more about the high-stakes drama of global domination. With a mix of savvy diplomacy and a don't mess with us attitude, they cut deals across Asia that would make any modern-day mogul blush. They weren't above using treaties that twisted arms behind the scenes or showing off their military muscle to get what they wanted. These weren't just any spices. They were the VOC's spices, from nutmeg to cloves and cinnamon, all locked down under their control. In the sprawling islands of Indonesia, the VOC was the boss. They didn't just trade, they set the entire game, dictating terms and ensuring everyone played by their rules. This control turned them from traders into kings of commerce, dictating spice prices to the world and filling their coffers to the brim. But hey, why stop with spices? Their empire expanded to grab silk from China, textiles from India, and shiny metals from Japan. Each win wasn't just a notch on their belt, but a loud statement of their dominance, fueling debates about monopoly power that are still alive and kicking. Yet beneath the glittering surface of these conquests lay a darker reality. The islands, once bustling hubs, felt the squeeze as VOC's monopolies jacked up prices and edged out the little guys. Some tales took an even bleaker turn, with forced labor casting long shadows over their legacy. As we dive into this saga of the VOC, their blend of bold tactics and brute force begs us to ponder the real cost of ambition. How much of ourselves and our values are we willing to trade for success? Stay tuned. The VOC's story is more than a history lesson. It's a mirror reflecting the age-old dance between power, profit, and ethics, challenging us to think deeper as we venture into the next chapter. All right, let's dive deeper into the VOC's grand design. It wasn't just about dominating the spice trade. Their ambition, a global empire, continents connected by a web of trade routes. This wasn't merely about spices. It was about etching their name in the very fabric of the global economy. From the tempestuous Cape of Good Hope to the bustling harbors of Japan, the VOC's presence was undeniable. Fortified outposts sprouted up, not just markers on a map, but the lifeblood of Dutch trade. They controlled the waves and the precious cargo that traversed them. At the heart of their master plan lay the Indonesian archipelago. Here, the VOC's ambition ballooned. They craved a monopoly on the entire spice chain, from cultivation to sale, dictating market prices for the world. Yet this sweeping vision came at a heavy cost. Those trading posts, symbols of Dutch prowess, often inflicted deep wounds on local communities. The relentless pursuit of spices led to environmental strain. Local traders, with generations-old practices, were cast aside as their livelihoods crumbled. The inner workings of these outposts were no less intriguing. Warehouses overflowed with exotic goods, a testament to the VOC's logistical mastery and global reach. But beneath this display of wealth and efficiency lurked a dark truth: exploited labor, disrupted local economies, and cultural upheaval. Looking through the lens of the VOC's ambition, we encounter a saga of innovation, perhaps in areas like shipbuilding or financial instruments, shadowed by ethical dilemmas. Their trade network was a testament to strategic brilliance, reshaping the future of global commerce. Yet it compels us to reflect on the consequences of such dominance. What does it truly mean to leave an indelible mark on history? The Dutch East India Company, or VOC. Now there's a saga that reads like a blockbuster. Kicking off the world's first publicly traded company shares? That was nothing short of revolutionary. They opened the floodgates to investment, powering their mega ventures with cash like never before. Talk about setting the stage for modern finance. And their knack for logistics? Pure genius. They were the ones who got the ball rolling on what would become the backbone of today's global supply chains. Their way of juggling trade routes, cargo, and cash flow wasn't just smart, it was trailblazing, setting standards we still aim for today. But let's be real, their relentless pursuit of profit wasn't always pretty, especially when it came to the grueling working conditions and meager pay they imposed on laborers in the Spice Islands. It's a stark nudge reminding us that ambition needs to shake hands with ethics, spotlighting the vital need for fair play in the chase for success. Oh, and one of their coolest tricks? Standardizing shipping containers, making it a breeze to move goods across the seas. This move didn't just change the game, it was the game, paving the way for the massive, interconnected market we shop in today. Wrapping this up, what the VOC story really hammers home is that success in the biz world is about more than just raking in the dough and breaking new ground. It's about how you play the game, staying true to fairness, integrity, and let's not forget the people who help make it all happen. Thanks for hanging out and diving into history with us at Millionaire Secrets. The tale of the VOC isn't just a blast from the past, it's a lesson for the now, urging us to aim for achievements that we can be proud of, not just for their scale, but for their spirit. Here's to building legacies that are as much about how we reach the top as they are about the view from there.